Hi, my name is Lee Cornish, and today I'm going to be talking about the probability of alien life in our universe. So, let's start a little bit closer to home and talk about Earth for a second. Earth was made about 4.6 billion years ago. Now, this may seem like a very long time, but in relation to how long the universe has been around, 13.8 billion years, it's really not too long. So, in the course of our 4.6 billion years, life has been around for about 2 billion of those. And in that 2 billion years, there have been 7 mass extinctions, which have led to the destruction of the majority of organisms on the planet. Now, a few organisms do survive each time throughout these mass extinctions, and they lead to the next evolutionary step of the planet, where you finally have humans being in control of the world today. So, UFOs, extraterrestrial life. What are they? Extraterrestrial life is any organism that is alien in nature to our solar system or the planet Earth. So, let's talk probability. In our galaxy alone, there are 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. This is a lot, yes, but now consider the fact that there are 100 billion galaxies in our observable line of sight in space. So, this being said, there are normally 10 trillion planets orbiting the stars in each galaxy. So then you have 10 trillion planets times 100 billion observable galaxies. You do the math. There's a lot of planets out there. Now, this isn't saying that every planet can have life. There is a study that says that there is a habitable zone around each star system that is most likely to house the planets which will be able to produce life. So, thinking about that, out of the 200 to 400 billion stars in our galaxy, it is believed that there are 17,000 planets that orbit the inhabitable zone that scientists believe that there could possibly be extraterrestrial organisms living on these planets. So, then I want to bring you around to the Fermi paradox. This is basically a contradiction that talks about the lack of evidence compared to the high probability of alien life in our solar system. So, if there were to be aliens, how advanced would they be? Would they be microorganisms living on sea floors, or would they be your classic gray men who come down to Earth in UFOs and steal people out of their beds, do probing experiments, and take your cattle? We don't know. We have no idea. It's merely speculation at this point. But this paradox is the main criticism of why we have not found alien life. It puts into words everything that we know and don't know. Just the fact that there should be alien life out there, but we haven't seen it. There are many reasons for this. Some suggest that the aliens don't want to contact us because we're inferior beings, or that they operate on different wavelengths than we do, talk in different radio frequencies. Truthfully, we don't know, and we may never know unless we go out into the universe and start exploring, or an alien life form happens to come to Earth. We're not sure. So, going back into the probability of alien life, we know that most organisms start off their life's journey originally in water. That's where the first organisms on Earth happened, and it's where we believe that organisms on different planets happen. So we're going to be talking about water worlds. Now, we know that water and heat are needed for organisms to survive. At least that's the case on our planet, I should say. So then we have to think about, in our solar system alone, which has 8 planets, there are multiple moons that currently have fresh water or salt water inside of their planet's ice crusts. So this is important because we think that on the moon Titan, there could very well be life underneath this 124-mile thick ice crust near the center of the planet. So that's one of the places that NASA would like to go to look for life in our own solar system. But when you look throughout the galaxy, you find that water is almost everywhere. We're a very wet galaxy compared to others that have been found. It's found on asteroids and asteroid belts, and the rings around planets. That's actually how Earth itself is believed to have first gotten water, is by asteroid impacts that were either had large deposits of ice on them or crystalline structures that eventually formed ice and water on the planet Earth. So that's how we thought that water was first brought to Earth and where life originally began. So we know that there are thousands of planets that have water on them, so we just have to go out there and see if there are any organisms that live in that water. And if so, we might have to wait a billion years or so before any intelligent life comes out of there. But if we find microbacteria or viruses or anything of the sort, it's a step in the right direction to finding intelligent life. So in water worlds, there are large amounts of active volcanoes, just as there is on Earth. It's said that 70% of eruptions on Earth happen underwater. So, does anything live in these deep parts of the ocean that are flooded with toxic chemicals and extreme heat? Yes, there is. And it's not just small worms, shrimps, and bacteria clinging to life. There are flourishing organisms that their lives revolved around these volcanic vents. They prey on other organisms that die in the toxic fumes that come out of there. Some of them themselves feed on the toxic chemicals and waste that we perceive as toxic, I should say, to stay alive. Now, there are even sharks in some of these volcanic active sites. We don't know how they survive down there. That's a question that you could speculate on answering, because scientists don't have a clue right now. So, if sharks can live near these extreme volcanic vents, who's to saying on a different planet, underneath crushing pressure and extreme conditions, organisms may not have developed and are starting to thrive there, and very well soon may turn into intelligent life. So that we're not sure of, but out of all the planets that are out there, there is a very high probability that life has evolved to a intelligent portion, and now we just have to go out and find them. But it is very fun to think about aliens and our pop culture especially. There are TV shows based around it, movies, t-shirts, hats, accessories. It's just a really fun thing to think about. So, could you be the one looking up into the stars one day and see an alien and say, hey, let me get out my good camera and not take a crummy picture of it, and then send it off, and maybe you will be the one to see alien life? Well, I hope that all these little facts that I've given you have swayed you to think that there could be aliens out there, and they're just not something the government's trying to cover up or is covering up, because we know how well the government can cover up things, and it's not that good. So, I hope this gives you a little bit to think about, and maybe you'll look up at the stars a little bit longer tonight. Thank you. Have a good day.